Good morning, or afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Michelle Lloyd. I'm founder of United Art Space. And every Monday, I share my motivational words. And today, I wanted to talk about that feeling of wanting to give up. And I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Let me know in the comments that you can hear me and see me, and let me know where you're tuning in from. So I wanted to share a couple of stories with you today, based on my own experiences. But my little girl, I have a daughter, she's 6, and she goes to gymnastics every Saturday. And she's now gone up to the next class, which is 2 hours long. And it's getting hard, it's getting really tough. And she came home a couple of weeks ago and said, I don't want to do gymnastics anymore. And I said, okay, why? Because it's getting hard. And I said, all right, so why is it getting hard? And she said, I'll backtrack actually, because at first she said she didn't like it. And I am in the camp of doing things that you love. So that's my whole business, United Art Space. Specifically, what drives me is to help people find the art they love and to create a career doing what they love. And so it's important to me that as a family, we do things that we love. So it's getting that balance of, doing things that you love, but things get difficult. And anyway, so I said to her, so why don't you like it anymore? And it was because it's getting difficult. And I was asked, but why? And it's the bridges. The bridges really hurt me. They're so painful. And so, I was thinking at first, well, I don't want to force her to go to a class that she doesn't enjoy. But then when I found out why she didn't want to go, it's because it's getting hard. And it just reminded me of my own life and when things have been difficult. And I got talking to a friend, she's an author, Sarah Griffiths, amazing friend of mine. We met up last week. And she, a totally unrelated story, started to tell me about people that she's working with and they're just giving up too soon because things get hard. Just seems to be everywhere in my conversations that I'm having with people at the moment. So I thought I'd bring it all to you to talk about, because I think when we are doing something that we love, there will be times where it starts to feel really uncomfortable and really difficult. And I think that that's the time to be careful that you're not quitting because you don't enjoy it, but rather than it's hard. There's a difference, isn't there? So, there have been things in my life where I've thought, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm really not enjoying it. And that's okay. You don't want to spend your life doing things that you don't enjoy, although sometimes there are things you've got to do. In my business now, there are things I still have to do that I don't really enjoy doing, but they just have to be done. But I just thought this was interesting, and it's a good lesson for all of us to be really aware of those moments where it gets difficult. Is if it's something that you really, really, really do want to do deep down, and it's just that it's getting hard. And I get that, because I thought back to times where I've nearly given up, and United Art Space is a great example. When I first set up United Art Space, I created a virtual art studio group. I didn't do it to make money. I didn't do it as a business. It was just some fun. And I set up a group with other artists, and it was all just to get people together. This was 4 years ago. Sally reminded me, because Sally now runs that group for me. I can't believe it's been 4 years. But we did art challenges together. And anyway, then I started to really love what I was doing. And I thought, could I make a living doing what I love? And then I started to surround myself with Beth Kempton, who is founder of Make Art That Sells. And loads of other amazing courses where she teaches this whole ethos of do what you love for life. And I thought, wow, is that really possible? And I followed her and I took some of her courses. And then I started to tap into what I wanted to do. And if I could create my own life, what would that look like? And the journey began, and it's been a tough ride. And I remember, I won't go into too much detail, but there was a point where it was really, really, really tough because I was out of my comfort zone. There've been many times where I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. I've talked myself out of things. Who am I to share what I know? I don't know anything. All those fears. But the one time where I really did nearly quit was due to financial reasons. And I was in a really, really, really tough financial situation. And it was a point where it was so bad that, you know, we nearly went to the food bank one month. And you can hear in my voice now, I'm starting to stutter because it's a time that was a real big struggle for me and my family. And it was in that moment I had people saying to me, you know, you should just go and get a real job, and you should just do this, you should just do that. And I remember back to when I first launched the Hub, which is the membership where I teach people now how to make art they love and help them figure out how to turn it into a living. And when I first launched that, I had 35 people sign up, which was magnificent, by the way. Thank you to all those 35 people. There's some I know who'll be on now. But it wasn't enough for me to make a living. And I remember in that moment feeling like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. It brings tears to my eyes now when I think back to that time, actually, because I felt like I'd poured so much into it, and I'd spent so many years pouring my life and soul into it. And I was so grateful for those sign-ups, but I knew that I couldn't put a roof over our heads, and I couldn't survive. And it was the most stressful time of my life. And that's one of the points where I very, very nearly did give up. And I just thought, I can't do this anymore. And it was because of those 35 people that signed up, who I'm so grateful for today, that kept me going, because I thought, well, there's 35 people that have paid me today and want what I have. And by the way, there was nothing in the membership. They just trusted me. I said, this is my vision. This is what I plan on doing. And they signed up. And I'll never forget that moment of deciding, shall I just give up now? And it was those 35 people that kept me going, because I thought, they've signed up and I need to show up for them. And I'm going to do whatever I can to help these 35 people. And so in that moment, then I had to think, well, if I do this, I need to figure out a way to keep my family going and keep the money coming in. And so what I then did is I kind of put a plan together of how I could keep that going. And so I'm sharing this with you because there will always be times, I mean, that's a very dramatic example. And one that is still very raw for me, that I'll never, ever, ever forget. But one thing I know is I'm so glad I didn't give up. I am so glad, because I am in a place now where I can pay myself a salary. I'm doing what I love. And it's because I kept going. And I remember Beth Kempton and a few other people, Laura Phillips, sharing in these moments where it's tough. Beth has a big long list, so I've simplified it because I like to do things in threes. And what they shared was, you know, when you're in those situations where you need to push through, think about 3 words: be, do, have. Who do I need to be? What do I need to do? And what do I need to have? to get through this situation. And Beth also talks about what you need to invest and what you, lots of other words. But I like to simplify things down into threes for my brain. I love working in threes. So what do I need to be, do, have? And in any situation now, that's what I start to think, especially when the fear kicks in. I'm going through similar things now where the fear is kicking in and I'm starting to think, well, can I really do that? Can I, you start to tell yourself stories. And I'm having to think now, who do I need to be to make this happen? What do I need to do? What plan do I need to have in place? Now, for you, it could be the person I need to be. If I wanted to be an artist, I need to start feeling like an artist now. You need to feel it before you do it, usually. I need to call myself an artist. I need to start putting myself into the world like I'm an artist. That's the person I need to be. I need to share on my social media that my artwork is for sale. That's the person I need to be. So then when you start to think about what do I need to do, I need to put that into action. I need to do it, not just think it. I need to put a post out this week saying that my artwork is for sale, or sharing where my website is. Or I need to pull a business card together that says I'm an artist. What do I need to have? Now, this could be materials, or it could be maybe you do need to learn. Maybe you don't know how to create a business card. So you need to have some direction and a lesson or some help, support. That's what I found that I needed when I was going through that really, really tough time, that I needed support because I wasn't getting support from certain people who I now know were just afraid for me. They were scared. So their natural instinct was to just go and get a job. Just go and get a job. And to be honest, that there wouldn't have been anything wrong with that. And I was getting to the point thinking, if I do need to give up this and get a job, then that's okay. I need to do what I need to do. But I was so determined not to give up on United Art Space at that point because I'd come so far. And I have no idea how I made it happen and how I made it work. But what I do know is I called in help from everywhere possible. I looked into funding. I looked into all the support available. I looked into, I was just literally reaching out saying, I'm in this situation and I need help. And it was unbelievable the amount of support that I got during that time. And so those three words are now crucial for me. Be, do, have. And whenever I feel like giving up on something, it's asking those three words and making sure that you're not giving up because it's hard, because it will be hard. Things are hard. When we're pushing through, especially out of our comfort zone, and we are taking ownership of our lives, it is hard. When things are easy, it's because we're sitting in our comfort zone. Life is easy when we shut ourselves off from everything and we don't go anywhere and we don't push ourselves. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that either, if that's what you choose to do, because I know there's been times in my life where I've had to do that to survive. My mental health has been in a bad place. But the way I got out of that, though, in that situation was to start gently pushing myself out of my comfort zone, to start feeling the fear of things that were holding me back, to recognize that I was putting these blocks and barriers in front of myself. And so I went back to my daughter, Morgan, and we had a chat about things being hard. And it was interesting that Sarah said that to me, that people give up too soon. And they do. Some people do give up too soon on a dream or something that they really want to do. Another example is when things don't feel like they're happening. And I see this a lot in artists. They might have a collection of work or an idea, and they put it onto social media and they get crickets, and they put it somewhere else, and it's like, no one's listening to me. I'm just so invisible. No one can see me. And so then they start to think, well, I'm just going to give up on this idea because, it's not obviously going anywhere. No one else is interested. But actually, it's because maybe they're just not connecting the work in the right way. I'll give you a great example of this inside our hub membership. We have a community, and a few artists have posted their work inside the community to say, how does this work make you feel? And they got no response. Now, it wasn't because no one's interested, it's because people are struggling to connect with it. I don't know how it makes me feel. So when people don't know the answer, they don't comment. Now, add that post with a little bit more about your work and why you made it, and giving us an insight into why it exists, and was the image inspired by something or a feeling or event. All of a sudden, then we can start to connect with it, and we start to see. It can be a tiny little shift like that in terms of someone then getting traction on their posts. So I think that giving up too soon on an idea or your art or something that really fills you with passion is detrimental to your success, because your why and your passion is what will fuel that connection and make you stand out. So I think, as hard as it is sometimes, and you might think, but I've been spending years on this and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. How long do I endure the struggle before I decide to quit, because I feel like I've been pushing this boulder up the mountain for years and I'm not getting anywhere. And that's where you come back to the be, do, have. Because if you've been pushing that boulder and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, then you need to adjust something. You need to change something. And the be, do, have can help you figure out what it is that you need to do to survive this moment or to change it. I see Lloyd Lewis is on, and Lloyd will understand this conversation because he's a martial arts instructor and he's actually a world champion, a 2 or 3 time world champion. And I know that Lloyd and I spoke about this when we met actually last year, about kids giving up. If something gets hard, giving up, and it's teaching them that sometimes we've got to keep pushing through. So I think, just to recap, it's about deciding if you're about to give up. Is it because I really don't like this? Is it because I really don't want to do this anymore? Or is it just because it's hard? And actually, if someone threw me a lifeline right now, I would take it, because this is really what I want to do. But if they threw me the lifeline, I'd still be like, nah, don't fancy it. And it's about just really becoming self-aware and answering that question. If someone gave me this opportunity now, would I take it? If you say yes, then don't give up. Don't give up. Just find a different way of doing something, or just use the be, do, have. Ask for support. Talk to people. Find a way. There is always a way, and I am living proof of that in many times over, in the struggles that I've had throughout my life, financially, mentally, in terms of my skills. When I set up United Art Space, I convinced myself I have nothing to share. I don't know anything. That's what I told myself. And I also used to tell myself that, I can't set up a business because I can't commit to things. I have ADHD. Some days I have to shut down. I don't function, so I wouldn't be able to commit in case that I let people down. All this fear. And I was stopping myself and giving up. I was giving up before I'd even started, in a way. So ask yourself that. If someone threw me a lifeline and gave me an opportunity, would I take it? If you would, then keep going. And use those 3 words if they help you, or come up with your own. You need to create your own survival kit. That's what I like to do. I have a survival kit on days where I just feel like just giving up. And sometimes you just need to take a day off, play some music. But be, do, have. Remember those 3 words, because that can help you when you are ready to take action and get back on the saddle, to help just navigate. So there we go. I've downloaded How are you all? I'm plugged in this week, so I won't die on you. Last week, my battery died halfway through, which was very embarrassing. And I was running around going, oh no, oh no. Lovely to see you all here. Lloyd, I've had quite a few members over the years in my martial arts school that have given up because it is hard. It makes me feel sorry for the kids of the parents who let them quit because they are being challenged. Challenge is an important part of life, and without it, we don't progress in anything. It's very true. And I think that those pains, so I now, when I find things really difficult, and I'm going through a difficult phase behind the scenes right now, it's United Art Space is growing, which is amazing, but it's meant that I now need to think differently, and I've had to put things into place. So it's organized because I've had to take people on, which is amazing, but out of my comfort zone. And I've always convinced myself I'd never be able to work with other people because I'm just so spontaneous and I do things my own way. So again, I still now I can see where I'm putting blocks, and I'm behind the scenes, out of my comfort zone, and it's hard. And a few weeks ago, I was like, this is hard, and I don't think I want to do this anymore. And so I used the be, do, have, and I am now coming out the other side. And it's been a struggle. It's been quite painful. I would say, there was a few weeks ago where I was thinking, this isn't why I set up United Art Space. This isn't why I did all this. This isn't what I want to be doing. And these were the things I was saying to myself. But then what I've realized is it's a season that I need to go through, and I will get back to doing what I love. But to get to United Art Space, where I really want it to be deep down, and I want it to be bigger, and I want to impact people, and I want to set up a charity, and there's so many things that I want to do. And when I look at the be, do, have, I realize that I need to go through this to be able to push through, and I can't give up, and I can't stay small because I'm scared that I can't work with other people. I need to push through it all. And so that's what I've been doing. But these examples I'm giving you are quite big, aren't they? But they happen on a smaller scale as well. It could just be, like I said earlier, about just not hearing back from anyone, or one comment knocks you back and just makes you feel like you just want to give up. It's those kind of things that you need to be careful of. I had it in the early days where if someone told me that I was rubbish, it used to knock me off the course of direction for a week, where I'd feel like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I am rubbish. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I am doing damage. That's what someone said to me once. I'm damaging people. And it really upset me. And at that moment, I thought, should I give up? So you've got to be really careful as well, and listen to those times where you say to yourself, shall I give up? Shall I give up? I don't really say it that often anymore, because the brain is a muscle, and I've worked so hard over the years to reprogram my mind now, so I don't say it as often. But there are times where I say, this is tough. Hi, Angie. Glad you found us. Yes, I did send an email with the link. I sent it yesterday. So check your email. Maybe it went in the junk folder, Angie. Gemma's waiting for paint to dry. Love it. Oh, Beth, thank you. I love that you show your passion every time, Michelle. You are so normal and warm and lovely. Thank you. Oh. We love you and your dedication to art. Well done. Oh my gosh, I love you all. Don't, because you're going to make me cry again, because I'm really emotional at the moment. Glad you didn't give up. No, I never will. I've come this far now. There's absolutely no chance that I will. Hello, Ryan. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for sharing this, Michelle. It's funny how people always give safe advice, get a real job, etc. This is why this space is so important. People who know that it's worth the struggles, worth the pain and the tears. Thank you, Michelle, and to everyone here who are real inspirations. Yeah, it's and it isn't easy, and I never share that, because what I do share is, and I believe this passionately, is we are in control of our destiny. And I know through experience that we can change our lives. We are in control of the beliefs that we have and making things happen. And by changing the way we react to things as well. And I used to read all that stuff and feel quite cynical about it and dubious. So I spent years practicing it myself, and it's worked. And I was like, it does work. And I've worked with so many people now who use the same principles, and it works. But then when you see these people saying, "Oh yeah, overnight success, you can make this in however long," and that gives people false hope. And I say it is a long process. It doesn't have to be. There are people that stride forwards much faster than others, but success is about growing so many parts of ourselves, the mindset. And then when you want to make a living, the 7 keys that I teach, all of those take time to develop and to focus and understand and learn. And it isn't easy. It is a challenge. But like you say, the rewards, and when you start to see the success, whatever that is, that word success, it keeps you going. And so, when I look back to when I launched the hub and those 35 members that signed up, they were the people that kept me going. And when you start to have the success through your own sales, or people who just tell you, like you guys now sharing nice comments, you'll have that about your own artwork. When you start to find your own people, it's important to capture those, because that's what fuels you to keep going through the times where you just feel like giving up, when you transfer the focus onto the good that you're doing and the response from other people. That's why it's important to surround yourself with your people. Oh, Hannah. Hello, Hannah. It's lovely to see you on here, and I'm so glad you've come a long way as well. Oh, thanks for this. I'm going through such a difficult time with self-doubt and other pressures, and hearing this has really triggered something in me, both sadness and determination. Oh, I'm so glad. Everyone's welling up. Thank you for all the lovely comments. Sorry, that's my notifications in the background. Everything makes sense when listening to you, Michelle. Don't know why I get scared and full of doubt and chaotic with time outside of here. I think that I'm trying to think of the best advice I can give for that, because I feel like that as well. So I spend a good chunk of my time listening to other people, like we are now, reminding myself of the belief that I need to have and the optimism. And so I listen every week, and I make sure that I'm tuning in, and I'm surrounding myself with a positive energy. And I think that the best advice that I can give is thinking about confidence and the self-belief as the bucket. And people hear me talk about this a lot, but it's got a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom. And you've got to think about how you can top this self-belief confidence bucket up, because it's constantly being drained. You can't put a stopper in it. Someone will say something to you, or you'll do something wrong, or something will happen that empties the bucket. So you've got to find ways that you keep topping that bucket up. And so for me, I have my safety net. So my safety net is what I do when I start to get scared or have self-doubts. It's about bringing my awareness back to my growth mindset. So using the mindset lessons inside the hub, I turn my thoughts around. Now, it's quite difficult to do at the beginning, but as you do it more and more and more, I don't need to write things down anymore. I can do that really quickly inside my head. So I think to begin with, Aviva, it's about I think bringing that awareness in that moment to what is making me scared, what is filling me with the doubt, why are things feeling chaotic? Because when you start to put the focus on those feelings, you can do something about it. The be, do, have. Um, what do I need to do to reduce this feeling of chaos? So I was feeling chaotic a couple of weeks ago. So I had to take a day off to just simplify the house and put it back together again and tidy up. And so it's recognizing in that moment, like right now, what is stopping me? How am I feeling? If I'm feeling scared, what is it that's scaring me? Because until you drill down into why that's happening or what it actually is, you will continue to feel that fear. So you need to find the root cause so that you can address it. I hope that helps. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's about just standing here. I am here in this moment right now. This is what I want to do, which is here. This is the task. I'm here. What is stopping me getting here? Like, so eliminate all the noise from everything in your life. Put yourself in the very present moment. I'm here. This is what I want. What is in my way? What do I need to be, do, have to get here? And eliminate everything else. And you might have to physically do that. I lock myself in a room where I can't see anything else when I do that exercise. I just think, this is me here. That's where I want to get to. What do I need to do? And I'll just block everything else, hide everything, put my phone away, and immerse myself just in that. So hopefully that helps. Hello, everyone. We all need support. We do, Leah. It was meant to be, Aviva. Angels are everywhere, Anna. I love it. I find it hard to ask for help. And if you know that, then put that on your radar and start to say, right, I find it hard to ask for help. First of all, why? Why do I find it hard to ask for help? Because there'll be a reason. It's usually from childhood or from some life experience. And then you put it on your radar to, I'm going to ask for help this week. Who am I going to ask for help? Just one person or one company, place, thing. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask for help this week. So Leah, let us know. Who are you going to ask for help and what help are you going to ask for? Just one. And also just ask though why you feel, because I don't like asking for help and I know why. I won't share that because it's a bit too personal. Glad it's helped, Debbie. Yes, please do post in the hub and be supported, Aviva. Do it, do it, do it. Oh, yes. Yeah, affirmations, reminders everywhere. That helps. Yes, I still have my affirmations, everything everywhere. Oh, Les, it's lovely to see you here, and I'm so glad. My voice is in the back of your head. Yes, being our true selves is very important. Lottie. Yeah, it's true. The pains and struggles throughout our lives are what makes us, and without the scars of life, we'd be very hollow people. Thank you. That's lovely, Glenn. And you're right. I can't remember, there's a book author that said that the lowest points have been the catapult to, or the foundations even, or the catapult or the catalyst to something amazing. And yeah, whenever I go through something tricky now, they're growing pains. And I was talking about that earlier and I forgot to mention it. So when I was going through the really struggly stuff behind the scenes a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I don't want to do this. And this is painful. And I've got dyslexia and this is so hard. And why do I have to do this? And I was getting really angry. And then I just had to think to myself, these are growing pains. I'm growing. And when you think of it like that, I was like, I'm growing. And actually, in 3 months' time, when I've got this done, I would have learned a lot. I wouldn't have enjoyed it, but I would have learned a lot. And then I'm sure that's going to add to, this person that I'm becoming. So thinking of the struggle as growing pains, I think is a really nice way of looking at it, because it means that this pain, and it goes with anything in life actually, the pain that we feel is, they are growing pains, adding to the bigger picture of us as humans and what we need to go through and experience. And as hard as it is, we'll always have struggles, won't we? We'll always have bad things. I just saw, I think Wendy, emails about the hub. If you could email support at unitedartspace.org, or inside the hub, there's a little button at the bottom where you can request help, then Andrew can go and take a look at that for you, Wendy. Thank you. Usually they end up in the junk folder. So, okay. Oh, Tracy's saying, what if you don't know what your true self is? This is a great question, and probably one that I need to maybe answer next week. That's my question for next week, Tracy, about discovering your true self, and if you don't know that direction, because it's quite a big one. I'll make a note of that, Tracy. Lovely. Right, I'm going to head off now and wish you all a very, very wonderful week. Thank you for joining, and just remember that anything is possible. Just keep going. I feel like I've said that so many times this month. It makes me giggle every time I say it now. But honestly, keep going, and just be, do, have. Remember those 3 words, and surround yourself with the belief and the positivity that you can do it. And that's it. Take care. See you later. Have a nice day.